Finally, after lingering long, I'm on my way to Yachats this morning, and thinking I'll go to a place called the Whale's Tail for breakfast. Seems like a local diner kind of a feel. Had an amazing sunset and beautiful light over the beach this morning. I just really hated to leave Beachside State Park. A little bit of fog this morning, but it should be another sunny day to get me only 16 miles down the road. Good morning. Here at the Whale's Tail Cafe, Yachats. Nice vibe to it, and I think I'm going to have the Mexicali.
I'll bring more coffee for you.
Thank you. Without any groceries available between here and my camp tonight at Washburn, I was able to stop here at a small market in Yachats. Very friendly folks, and I got a nice tip from a woman. She told me that Torres Well, about 3 miles down the road, is a can't miss site, rock formation. Also telling me that the coast from here down to Florence is one of the most scenic anywhere, so I'm in no rush. Gosh, I sure didn't get far down the road, maybe 3/4 of a mile from the grocery, and I'm already pulled over here. This little inlet coming in, and just think this is going to be a pattern down the coast. Looking over at the town of Yachats, the road has gotten very narrow through here, but with the exception of the occasional wide load, it's very manageable. This is the spot called Torres Well. I'm not sure which one of these is the well. The woman that I met at the grocery store was right. This is definitely one spectacular piece of coast. The winds are quite strong out of the northwest, which is great for the biking, but it's also great for kicking up the surf here along the shore. As I understand it, there's a small craft advisory in effect today, so waves are blowing in big, and Torres Well is delighting the people that stop. This is amazing. right, so everybody say hello to Seth. Hello. Seth drove out from Eugene to bring me dinner and beer.
Essentials.
And some Oregon hospitality. Good morning. Today is Tuesday, September 23rd, somewhere around there. It's day 13 of my tour down the Pacific coast, and last night I spent here at Washburn State Recreation Area, about 15 miles or so north of Florence, Oregon. I had a very short mileage day yesterday, plenty of time to relax, and then as a treat at the end of the day, my longtime friend, former staff member at Local Motion, and someone I've known since he was only a couple of feet tall. He now towers above me. Seth came out from his home in Eugene to bring me dinner and have a visit. I had that little short clip of video of the two of us, and it was just such a pleasant surprise. Today I've got a longer day ahead, 46 miles headed down through Florence, past, and I'm getting I think worse and worse at pronouncing these things, but I'm looking forward to seeing Heceta Head Lighthouse this morning, hopefully in the morning light soon after I get started, and down through Florence, and eventually ending my day at Umpqua Lighthouse State Park, 46 miles from here. So if the coast is as spectacular as yesterday here on south, I've got a lot of stops along the way, and let's see what we find. Through another tunnel here right next to Heceta Head. This one doesn't have nearly the grade as the one I had passed through a few days ago, and I'm doing it 8:30 in the morning, so traffic is very light. I'm stopped here at Heceta Head Lighthouse Overlook. See if we can maybe see the light in the background. It's just a beautiful, clear morning with a light fog over the ocean near the shore. I don't know that you'll be able to hear it in this one, but perhaps the last clip that I shot is a ledge just full of sea lions all barking away, and I'm essentially on my own here. Just a lot to see. Big trees through here, just south of Florence. I think I'm pretty much moving away from the coast for the moment. Probably for the next good bit. I don't think I really get out near the coast until I'm almost to camp, which is 24 miles down the road, I think. Just a few miles before that, I'll get back to the coast. So here's to riding in the forest, and may the shoulders stay wide. To my right, I'm riding alongside of some coastal dunes, which are enough of a feature in this area to have named the next town that I come to Dune City, I think it's called. It's interesting how it goes. The pattern of seemingly total quiet stretches of riding without a vehicle in sight, and then suddenly thundering up behind or from ahead comes this whole cluster just in a drag race, trying to pass the one in front of it. When they get to the slow vehicle turnouts, they roar on by, and then it's quiet again. Out to go through a drawbridge here just outside of Reedsport. Let's hope that light stays green. I just provisioned up in Reedsport. I think it's about 5 miles to the Umpqua Lighthouse State Park, where I'll spend the night. 40 something miles today, but still getting in with plenty of time to clean up and relax at the end of the day and avoid the heaviest traffic of the day, or at least get out of it for the rest of the afternoon. Today is Tuesday, September 23rd, which makes it the 13th day of this tour, and gosh, I have lost track of the days. But anyhow, I am finally back to, I don't know if I would want to call it normal miles, but back to my anticipated 40-mile-a-day average. Today I ended up covering 43 miles down here to Umpqua Lighthouse State Park. It was a morning that started off just glorious with a nice climb up to the headland, where I had these amazing views over to the Heseda Head Lighthouse, as the morning light was just starting to touch on the light and the little bay below, and it was beautiful, low traffic, just a great way to start the day. Further down the road, beautiful scenery coming across the headlands. Ultimately, a fairly big drop as I started to get closer to the Florence area, and then just making my way through Florence, with no reason to stop, and I really don't have a desire to spend any time in the larger towns along the way. When I'm bicycle touring, I'm not interested in let's say going to visit some local attractions in some of the large towns or whatever. I'm much more interested in the open areas, the rural areas, the small towns. So I just kind of flowed through Florence. It certainly has been a eye-opener for me when comparing it with my trip through these parts by bicycle 35 years ago. It's quite radically different. It's still amazing. It's still worthwhile. I still am loving it. The reality is that there are an awful lot of people that want to be here, and not by bicycle. Tomorrow's plan is to go another 47 miles down to I believe it's Bullard's Beach State Park. The weather is holding up just amazing. Today was probably 70 degrees. I think it was the first time that I've actually felt hot, and perhaps even broke a little bit of a sweat while riding. Today's ride was quite hilly and challenging in terms of the terrain, but I enjoyed it, and it was nothing but blue sky and tailwinds, and I'll look forward to the same tomorrow. So see you then. Today is one of the few days on the ride that I'm not finding myself looking forward to, mainly because it's the day that I ride over the McCullough Bridge and into North Bend and then through Coos Bay. Although once I get off the bridge, the route takes me over to the coast and away from the 101, so we'll see how that goes. Up until last night, I had been planning on taking the bypass around the McCullough Bridge from all the horror stories I had heard about that, but then I realized that the opportunities for groceries are almost nil on that bypass, and it also is totally on Route 101. So I made the decision, which may change, to go ahead and see what the McCullough Bridge is like, and if I can catch it in a lull in traffic early to mid-morning, I'll go ahead across and then scoot off of 101 for most of the remainder of the day onto some side roads that get closer to the coast. This is going to be one of those days where I'm just covering miles, just through the forest on 101, not really looking for much at all, except perhaps once I get past North Bend and Coos Bay. But this section is an area where it seems like much of the traffic is local traffic, and it also seems as if there's a delight in, rather than giving me room to ride, taking it away and trying to tickle my ear with their rear view mirrors. There's definitely the ongoing problem of masculine insecurity and little dicks Little Dicks. The last couple of days, the shoreline has been pretty much made up of huge dunes. Mostly not visible from the road, but this morning I'm getting some views. Not sure where it all tapers out. Perhaps here at the entrance to Coos Bay. We'll see. Made it across the infamous McCullough Bridge with no incidents. People were courteous, slowed down. The key, I think, is certainly to take the lane. Don't try and give up any room, because there certainly isn't an opportunity for a bicycle and even a small car to share the same lane. So the key is forcing the traffic to wait for a clear spot and move into the opposing lane. I did have one person in the opposite direction come by and leaned out his window and yelled, "You dumb fuck!" And I don't know. I just gotta laugh. It's kind of this thing that I mentioned earlier, where there's some real masculine insecurity, including this one popped up Mustang that passed me going in the same direction. And of course, when making his pass, which could have been done at a very gentle pace, he had to, do a version of a bleach burnout there on the road next to me and show me just how fast his car was. So once again, a whole lot of little dicks on the highway here, and they're powerful automobiles that they've got to show off. Making my way now in the back neighborhoods of North Bend. Nice and quiet. Much better way to get through town than on 101. One of the things that I have found along the way here with this ride with GPS digital navigation is that sometimes it can't tell the difference between right and left, and at that last turn it just told me to turn right and into a dead-end cul-de-sac of condominiums. So you just gotta adjust, and you can't always trust the technology, although
turn right onto Lakeshore Drive.
Ride with GPS is far better than Google Maps at getting around by bicycle. Here on Seven Devils Road, south out of North Bend. I've had to maybe think that the Seven Devils were the hills. I've been in my lowest granny a couple of times cresting here, and my next to the lowest granny for much of the climb, but there is almost no traffic. As I say that, a car comes, but it's definitely an out of the way, lightly traveled road, which I appreciate. This is what this place is all about. timber. Former coastal forests cut. As of today, at the completion of day 14 of this bike tour down the Pacific coast, I have only 2 more days left in the beautiful state of Oregon. I'm one who can't help but look ahead at, planning out days based on mileages and weather. And one of the things that's showed up in the forecast is some potentially wet weather for Sunday night, Monday, and Tuesday, which is will come at a time when I've crossed the California border. I think that the weather system that is bringing the moisture is part of a post-tropical disturbance in the Pacific that seems to be tracking up the coast right now down either just north of Baja, Mexico, or somewhere west of LA, but I'm keeping an eye on that because it is not something that I enjoy, and that's riding in the rain. I can't remember, I guess I've been spoiled here, I can't remember the last cloud that I've seen on this trip. I suppose it was the last evening that it did rain, and to be honest, I can't even remember when that was. It might have been, I think, might have been soon after I crossed the border into Oregon. But anyhow, today was just a day of covering miles, and often that happens on a bike tour. It's not like every day is amazing scenery and lots of places to stop and photograph and people to chat with. Today was, the primary goal was getting through North Bend, and as I mentioned on an earlier clip, it was last night when I decided to make the crossing over the McCullough Bridge into North Bend rather than taking the alternate route out. The alternate route would have left me with virtually no options for provisioning for the day, and it would have put me on 101 for the entirety of the day. It wasn't a bad crossing. As I noted, there was one gentleman, if you want to use that word, who decided to throw some obscenities at me as he was passing, strangely enough, in the opposite direction. But otherwise, it was pretty much a non-event. I stopped in North Bend at a grocery store and got the food that I needed to get me through the rest of the day, and I was over halfway through the day, and just simply looking at the mileage thought, I'm just going to slow down here, and I took a nice leisurely break in this little pocket park out of the way from the main city, looking out over Coos Bay and fishing port or shipyard sort of a place, and eventually pulled myself out of that warm sunshine and got back on the bike and started out of North Bend on the main route, the main adventure cycling route. And I had gotten myself to believing that it was going to be relatively flat because it was taking me over to the shore. Well, I know from my experiences on the West Coast, and including this trip, that proximity to the shore does not equate with necessarily flat. Needless to say, that final 24 miles of the day really kicked my backside. I found myself in my granny gears for a good bit of those 24 miles, all the way down into my lowest gear on a couple of occasions, and it just kept going up and up and up on a road called Seven Devils Road, and hills are the devils that I'm assuming that road was road name is referring to. But it was interesting because ever since yesterday I've been out of the really touristy areas and into a whole different economic ecosystem along the shore here. It's an economic, the economics of the area are clearly in decline, as although the timber harvests are still going on, the timber industry is not in its boom stage. It's there's frankly not a whole lot left to cut. I rode a lot today along vast stretches of clear-cut hills along the Seven Devils and Whiskey Run, and I think it was called Beaver Hill Road, and it was in just looking at the residences there. It's tough times, very tough times, and yet the occasional log truck did roll by, and I could hear the saws in the distance, and the cutting continues. But eventually I rolled on out of it and down here to camp in another gorgeous Oregon state park called Bullard's Beach State Park, and just cooked up another one-pot meal, and for the first time this trip have taken a few ibuprofen to try and take the edge off of some of the aches and pains of those hills. And tomorrow I already have a breakfast place picked out in Bandon, and I think a little less than 30 miles, I'm not 30, a little less than 40 miles to ride tomorrow. So it is supposed to be still strong north winds today. We had a small craft advisory in effect, and there was nothing in the way of headwinds or even the sensation of wind as I was being pushed along. But I think I'm going to turn in early and rest up this tired body and get ready to see the town of Bandon, which from what I've heard is a lovely spot on the coast, and enjoy my final 2 days in Oregon before crossing the California border. So until tomorrow, good night. Looks like I'm gonna start my day today with another narrow bridge into Bandon. Another beautiful day here on the Oregon coast. I haven't seen much at all except nice weather. Today looks like it'll be more of the same, blue sky and sunshine. Looking forward to breakfast at the station diner, a mile and a half ahead. Great, thank you.
You're welcome. There you go.
Great, thank you. The route out of Bandon takes me through some residential areas, and now this vista with some pretty amazing sea stacks. This must be a pretty exclusive neighborhood here. Everybody claiming rights to the private property, and signs on the side abound saying no parking, essentially don't stop in our neighborhood, the view is all ours. But it's a rare exception here on the coast, as most of it is publicly accessible. What an amazing coastline. Small craft advisories in effect for today again, so I've got just a screaming wind at my back. Well, the Bandon area certainly did include some surprising views for me. I don't know what I was expecting. I knew it was a recommended town to visit, but I didn't expect the ocean sea stacks and the amazing views in both directions here. So it's taken me a little bit to get out of town. As soon as I start rolling, though, this wind is just ripping out of the north, so I'll have no trouble coasting along with some pretty sweet tailwinds. Lunchtime. Good morning. It's Friday, September 26th, and I'm actually already a mile out of camp. I got an early start today, a 50-mile day ahead, and I wanted to get a head start on it before traffic came up too bad. Speaking of, here comes a log truck up behind me, which is part of what is the normal scene here on 101 on this section of coast. I am headed today to Harris Beach, which is just north of Brookings. It'll be my final full day and night in the state of Oregon before crossing into California tomorrow morning. I had an enjoyable evening at Humbug Mountain State Park. There was actually one other cyclist there with me, and he came over to chat for a while, and apparently he's done the coast several times and had some advice about various sites along the way. We'll just continue on and enjoy another beautiful day of scenery on the coast. Along this section of the ride, just north of Gold Beach, the route diverts onto what's called the Old Coast Highway. It's almost like riding a bike path along 101. From looking at the map, I can pretty much take it all the way into Gold Beach. I like it. Another narrow bridge, but traffic is a little bit lighter. I made it over the top of the big hill, as the locals call it. 3-mile climb, maybe 800 feet or so. Definitely granny gear, but I still had one in reserve. Now I'm guessing soon I'm gonna lose all of that altitude right back down to the coast, but it's nice to get to the top, away from the coast here, back into the forest. For some reason today just feels like I'm getting closer to Northern California. I don't know what it is about the landscape. I guess the hills are getting a little bit bigger. Not sure. I've only got a few days before I get into the redwoods. Here we come. What's it say? 6% grade. That looks like a nice gentle slope to take back down to sea level. One thing that I hadn't noted so far this morning, because it was taking me a bit to figure it out. I wasn't sure if it was fog or smoke, but I guess the winds were such last night that smoke from inland fires made it to the coast, which I wasn't expecting. So this haze that may be visible in some of today's pictures and video is smoke. This bridge is 345 feet above the water. It was a little over 50 miles into camp tonight here at Brookings. I'll enjoy yet another clear blue, sunny evening here. Tomorrow, I think the winds are supposed to finally die down and start even coming from the south, albeit at a much lower wind speed than we've had for the past few days, where it's been at my back for all day at 20 plus miles an hour. Time to catch up in the journal, and I'll see you tomorrow.